I'm from Australia, but it was a very long time ago, and I'm a Californian like you. And actually, I've been here longer than many of you. I hate to admit it. Actually, my wife and I have been married for a little over 40 years. We were together for 5 years before that. I learned early in our relationship that if I wanted to continue it, I had to remember her birthday. Today is her birthday. I remembered it, which is a good thing. But it does mean that actually as soon as I finish speaking, I have to get back to have a family event with my children and grandchildren and all Californians. But I'm delighted to be here to help you on your career path to realize what is a wonderful ambition. And I wish you every success in that ambition. As Hume said, caring for people is about the best thing you can do. Even dentists do that. And there are many, many ways to do that. And one of the wonderful things about medicine as a career is it gives you enormous flexibility and options. An MD opens the door to many, many different ways that you can care for people. One of the career paths for MDs is somebody who helps me every day, Dr. Catherine Nation, an MD. She's with me today, and she will help me answer any questions that I can answer. I finished my fairly brief remarks. She's helped me organize the things that she believes and I believe will help you in your chosen career. You've been noticing stuff about healthcare reform in California. I still don't know where that's going to go, but it's an excellent thing that both our governor and our legislators want to improve access to healthcare for all Californians. It's a difficult challenge in all sorts of societies. You're probably aware that different societies approach this in different ways. Canada does it one way, different American states do it in different ways. There's federal legislation that helps people in some ways, and there's state legislation that helps people in other ways. California is wrestling with ways that it can, in an affordable way, get better health care to many, many people. We don't know where that'll finish up yet. It'll, I hope, have positive impacts on health care for all of the people that we would like to help. We do know some definite things about California. And as part of the University of California, I have to think carefully, and many people advise me about what the trends are in California, where we're going, what we're going to become in terms of health care. We do know that the Californian population continues to grow. There's no reason to suspect that it won't. We're a rapidly growing state. We're an aging population. We certainly have many children that we have to care for, but increasingly Californians are living longer, and older people need more health care. And so we know that the demand for health care will continue to increase as the population grows. It's also a very diverse state. You are a very diverse group of people. I reflect that diversity to some degree. And there are extra challenges with access to health care and looking after a whole population as we become increasingly diverse. We're one of the most diverse societies in the world. There are workforce shortages in many areas of healthcare. That, to you who want to become doctors, is probably good news in one way, but it's a challenge for us all. Many health professions, there are shortages. Nursing is particularly acute. We thought 15 to 20 years ago that we wouldn't need a great deal more doctors, that things were fairly stable. What we call healthcare managed care, sorry, we called it in that stage, that managed care would decrease the need for doctors. We were wrong. It didn't happen. There is a great need for doctors. And we in the University of California, I'll give you some data about the University of California and the privates in California. We are planning to grow because we know that we need to do so in order to meet the needs of California. That will cost money. We're hoping to persuade the legislators, your families, and your representatives to increase the level of support for medical education so that we can meet those needs. But our medical schools are planning to lift their game to increase the number of students they have to, of course, we continually evolve our programs to deal with the future. But we will be increasing the size of our entering classes. That in policies is very good news for you. We'll need to find more number of you I know will be looking with some apprehension at the difficulties if you come from a family of medium means, paying for education. So we're working hard to raise new scholarship funds to help you manage a financial management. I could never have followed my career path without scholarships. I came from a family that didn't have the means to educate, and scholarships enabled me to get the education that I did. We will be developing new programs to meet the diverse and changing nature of California. And, one of our growth trajectories is our prime programs, and I'll mention it in a little while. But there is a tremendous need for you. So your commitment, your interest, your passion is matched by need. It's not that you're trying to enter some place where you're not wanted, you very much want it. So we want to help you in every way that we can understand what it takes to enter medical school to succeed. And to help you down your path. You will need, and you've probably got a passion for science, because medicine does require an understanding of science, it even requires an understanding of mathematics. You're probably all wrestling with mathematics at the level that you wish you didn't have to. But that's got to be part of it. Research and understanding what research means has to be part of it. But it also requires very deep commitment to humanity. We'll be caring for people, and education in the liberal arts and understanding what motivates people and understanding human history and psychology is as important to be a fine healthcare provider as science. So you need a very broad education. My wife says to me, everything you need to know you can find out in Shakespeare. He said it all. Well, you can actually get all the medicine quite right. So we will also need increased numbers of faculty in the future. We're going to need more teachers for the future. And I was encouraged halfway through my own professional training to make a career shift. And you saw on the program, it says DDS Ph.D. And I was encouraged to enter a research track, and I did my Ph.D. after my DDS, so that I could become what I became, which was somebody who helped other people learn how to be healthcare providers. And that's one of the many, many wonderful options that you have available to you when you enter a healthcare profession. We also have people, we need people very much who can run our healthcare facility. And we actually reward the people who manage our hospitals more than we reward our doctors, because it's very, very important to do that. But there's many options, of course, within the profession. So I congratulate you on your commitment. I congratulate you on your keen interest. Also, I applaud the many faculty and advisors who are here. You need advice and guidance, and their job is to help you. Making the right choices at this stage. Some of you I know are in four-year colleges, many of you are in community colleges. Making the right choices at this stage is really important. I believe that that's why many of you are here. These good folk are working very hard to get the set of slides ready, and I'm hoping that those slides are going to appear in a moment. They're down here as an electron somewhere. Solid state memory is doing its thing. I will just roll on because I dare not fly my wife and not be there with my children and my grandchildren. So I'll tell you what our goals are. I can do this without the slides if they don't provide. They're here, they're down here. You can't all see them. What I'm going to do is describe the size and scope of the medical programs in California, both the UC programs and the private programs. And this is a California-focused presentation. You can obviously do medicine by leaving the state. We hope that you don't have to. But some people do, of course. But I'm going to talk mostly about California. To talk about the goals of UC's medical education, which is the one that we know best. To discuss the major steps in the admission process, that you understand from our perspective what we will be expecting people who apply for admission to do if they're going to be successful in that process. But to help you understand the overall process. From the outside it looks pretty scary. It is relatively complicated, but it's not incomprehensible. And I'll then to give you a brief update on our plans within UC for what we're going to do in medical education. Okay, I've got a blank screen, that's something. Okay, UC has 5 medical schools. Good. It's always threes are easy to remember and 5s aren't so bad. We have 5 medical schools in UC and they're all wonderful. And I'll give you the numbers of them just so you get a sense of what the incoming class in each place is. Closest to here is UC Davis. Wonderful school, doing extraordinarily well. We're very proud of UC Davis. Terrific hospital in Sacramento and a wonderful medical school in Davis and in Sacramento with 105 entering freshmen into that program. UC Irvine in Orange County. Similar size, 104 entering freshmen, also a school that's coming forward in leaps and bounds and serving the state extremely well. UCLA, where I spent a fair slice of my career. In fact, I first came to the United States in 1975 to be a postdoc in the medical school at UCLA, so I know it very well. It's a wonderful school. 121 entering freshmen, and also 24 in an affiliated program at the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. A very diverse class. Somebody very keen on Charles Drew. And 24 at UC Riverside, also in an affiliated program with UCLA. I'll talk a little bit more about Riverside later. 134 at UC San Diego. Oh, good. We're getting closer. Let's see. 134 at UC San Diego. Entering class. UC San Diego also an extremely successful medical program going ahead in leaps and bounds. At UC San Francisco, 150. Dr. Nation is a graduate of UC San Francisco, and that is without a doubt one of the greatest medical schools in the world. UC San Francisco is our oldest school, very strong, powerful, wonderful school, and extraordinary research and wonderful clinical care. And initially it was part of Berkeley. Became so strong that it was actually at one stage had more research grants than the rest of Berkeley combined, and that's when the faculty said, well, we think we should become an independent university, just as the health science. And the regents of UC agreed that that should be so. Berkeley also has 16 students in an MD and PhD program. So that's UC. It's very rich. A total of 680 entering freshmen to the University of California. Now we're planning to grow that number. Actually, in the coming decades, quite a lot, but it's growing each year. So each year that number is getting bigger. We also have 3 terrific private schools in California. Loma Linda University in the Inland Empire, right near UC Riverside. Stanford University. Loma Linda has 176. Loma Linda draws its students from all around the world. It has as you know, it's a Seventh-day Adventist school. But Californian kids can get into Loma Linda. It's well worth applying. Stanford, an extraordinary school, smaller than most, 86 students per year. And USC, quite large, University of Southern California. It's hard for a person who's been at UCLA to say very fine school, USC. But I have to be honest, it is a very fine school. Dreadful football team. But 168 students at USC. So, and there are also 2 Austrian Catholic schools, a different philosophy of medical education, but it's a fine way to become an MD. Western University with 209, so that's the largest university in the state, and Touro University with 135. So there's nearly 1,500 medical student places in California as freshman candidates each year. So that's a lot more than there are people in this room. So this is quite achievable. So there's lots of opportunity. And they're all very fine schools. One great thing about California is we're very well served by our institution. The UC educational mission, and I wish it could be up there because it is. Okay, there's the focus. Terrific. Oh, you're holding on too fast. Okay, the educational mission at UC. Well done. UC medical schools are committed to the preparation of future physicians who will be individually successful as doctors, no matter what they do, but collectively successful in meeting a very broad range of societal needs as clinicians, providing patient care, teachers, helping to prepare the next generation of physicians and nurses, dentists, public health workers, whatever, and researchers and leaders. So that's very much a part of our mission. And the people of California have been very direct with us over the years. Don't just make narrow doctors. Make people who have the potential to do a broad range of things. And we take that extremely seriously. So that means we focus a lot on science in the broadest sense. We expect our graduates to be really flexible and creative in their thinking, to be able to do many, many different things as healthcare evolves, and to be able to go into different specialties, obviously, but also to become researchers and leaders of the future. Because as you know, medicine is advancing rapidly. It advances so rapidly that we can't afford to pay for some of the things that we invented. Some of the new therapies are wonderful, but extremely expensive. We need people who can continue to advance and can help make the ethical decisions necessary about how to apply all of those wonderful things. So as we look at admissions, and now I'm going to focus on UC, and I'll tell you about the UC admission process. And I hope you aspire to this one, because we believe that we set the gold standard for the quality of our education, the quality of our doctors, and the quality of our initiatives. So we want a talented and diverse group. We work very hard to make sure that our class is as diverse as it can be. And our medical school admission people take that extremely seriously. And I'm very proud of what our schools achieve in diversity. You know that Proposition 209 doesn't allow us to take race and ethnicity into account, but we do look very hard at people who have worked hard to overcome disadvantage in their upbringing or their educational opportunity. And we do everything we can within the law to get as diverse a class as we can, because we know that a diverse class will lead to better education for everybody in the class. And we want doctors who will go out and look after the diverse population of California. So that's a very important part of what we do. So for every applicant, we do a very comprehensive review of academic and non-academic factors that predict academic success. And we have faculty and staff and students who take the process of evaluating people extremely seriously. One of the wonderful things about our medical school admission process is what a strong role students play in deciding who will join their profession. And the profession, of course, plays a very strong role in that as well. And they look at evidence from patients and colleagues. They want the views of patients about whether you will be a good doctor as well. So that's one of the reasons why experience in a clinical setting is actually a helpful thing for you in gaining the letters of support that you need. This next slide looks really scary. 5,000 apply. This is average for each of our schools. And the little thing down on the right-hand side is 125 new people on average entering each of our schools. Now this is not as scary as it looks. There are 5,000 people applying, 1,200 supplemental applications, 600 of those are chosen for interview. So don't be broken-hearted if you apply and when you get to that stage you don't get interviewed. Only 1 in 10 will get, well, a bit better than 1 in 10 will get interviewed. Then 250 offers of admission and 125 enter. Now, this looks, you might say, goodness me, I can't possibly do all that. But lots of people apply, as I guess you know, to lots of schools. So that's why that left-hand side is so large. And it's sensible to apply to a number of schools. Think about where you want to go and have several applications as it's quite sensible. Okay, let's look at the steps in the admission process. First, the review of applications. Standardized applications are prepared by the American Medical College Application Service, AMCAS, and most US medical schools, including ours, use those. And then we request supplemental material, essays. We want to know what you think about yourself and about medicine and your career. And that's an entirely appropriate thing. You have to be articulate. In order to provide good health care, you have to be able to communicate extremely well. And we find people who are extraordinarily bright, particularly in science, who don't make good doctors or won't make good doctors because they can't communicate with patients. So we want to know that you can communicate. Response to specific questions from the schools, letters of reference from individuals and from advisors or advisory committees. We want to know from people who know about them. Invitations to interviews. If you're invited to interview, you'll usually get 2 interviews. And that will be with a mixture of faculty, staff, and students, sometimes patients, patient representatives. And that's when interview, you can make stuff up to some degree when you write stuff. It's very hard to make stuff up when you're being interviewed, because people will look at you with great care as you're talking. They can work out whether you mean what you say. And then the committee deliberates, and I've worked on those committees. I know the people on them are very dedicated. It's a very hard process, but they have the job of making discriminating decisions. But discriminating about whether you'll be a good doctor, that's the choice that they make. And I reassure you that no discrimination against people on the basis of race or ethnicity. Every effort to have as diverse a class as possible in the law. Among the selection criteria, this slide shows academic record, obviously. We want you to be capable and bright, but the selection process is broad enough that you will not be squeezed out by those horrible people who get the 5.2 GPA on the thing where the maximum is meant to be 4. The process is sufficiently broad that if you're bright and capable, you don't have to be a roaring genius to do it. You just have to be smart and be able to apply this. And in fact, medical schools will turn down some roaring geniuses sometimes and say, go off and be a nuclear physicist. We need you there. We need people who can care for patients. And so we're looking for that. Extracurricular activities give us a clue to the breadth of your background. What else do you do with your life? Studying is important. What else do you do? We want to know. Have you got clinical experience? Have you worked in a clinical setting? Are you comfortable there? Did you do well there? Were you horrified by the whole business? Decided to change career? Okay. Change career. Are you comfortable in that setting? Have you given service to others? Because most medicine and most healthcare is about looking after other people. There was a point in the 1960s and 70s where it used to be about getting rich. I don't think that's so anymore. You can make a comfortable living in healthcare. But if you want to get rich, there's much better ways to get rich. If you want to care for people, this is a place to be. So we want to see about that, service to others. Research experience is useful because, particularly in UC, we're interested in people who have the capacity to contribute to the advance of healthcare in the broadest sense. And so spending some time in a research lab is actually quite a smart thing to do. Look at whether you're comfortable there and you can contribute. This next one, distance traveled. You might not be able to read the smaller print. Your achievements relative to the available opportunities. And if you come from a background where there weren't many opportunities, and you've overcome those and come a long way, then that is taken seriously. And I know many doctors who've been educated through UC, and in my field many dentists, who came from quite disadvantaged backgrounds and who got to a point where they could be admitted. And the prediction was that they would then go ahead in leaps and bounds because they had overcome disadvantage. And that prediction was right. So we take that very seriously. Distance travel. Where did you start? And how far have you come? And then obviously your personal qualities. Motivation, passion, maturity. Do you tell the truth during the interviews? It's very important. Okay, thousands of applications are submitted annually, obviously, and the schools have committee structures that work on those applications. Often committees work in parallel, so that there's not just one decision-making group, and then results are compared. And when two groups come to the same conclusion about somebody or other, yes, okay, that works. If there's a difference, sometimes there'll be a third review, even a third interview. If two groups look at somebody quite differently, I'll say, come on, let's look at it again, work out why we disagree. And obviously we invest in staff to support that process. I mentioned before, faculty members, both from the basic sciences, the clinical sciences, and medical students and others, patient representatives very often. It's very hard work for the people who do it. They do it out of passion and commitment. They want excellent people in their profession. We want excellent people in the health professions for UC and for California. And we take that extremely seriously. People who are dedicated to teaching really want to make sure that they get an excellent class, people who will be excellent doctors. This is not just something we do every day, it's something we care passionately about. And that's I get enormous satisfaction. Initially, when I was a young man, I thought that I was going to be a dentist providing clinical care. I've done that in balance with other things for much of my career. But I realized fairly early on that I could care for more people by helping educate other people and doing research so that they can be cared for better. And I get great satisfaction from the people who come in and are educated and who become sometimes researchers, sometimes clinicians. And there are many people like me in our schools and they populate the admissions committee. So these are people who are passionate about what they do in the same way that you're passionate about what you do. Okay, let's look at US applicant enrollment trends. I don't know if you can see the figures, but I'll read them out in case they are too small for you at the back of the room. Nearly 40,000 applications to US medical schools in each year, and that's gone up. It's gone up 16% since 2002. So it's a nationwide trend that we are increasing the size of our schools, the number of our schools. So 40,000 applications for 17,500 positions. And that means some people don't make it. But it means that it's not by any means impossible. It's a good thing. Sorry, that's applicants. That's people who try. So many of those people apply. Women making up nearly 50% of applicants, and that's a wonderful trend because, as you I'm sure are aware, women make excellent healthcare providers. That wasn't the way it was 50 years ago, but it's certainly the way it is now. And that's a terrific thing. And increasing diversity, always increasing diversity. African American students increased by 3.4%, Latino students by 18.6%. Over the 3-year period just passed. So we're increasing the diversity of our intake in our medical classes. This one I'll talk through so you can understand it. The medical school enrollment trends by race and ethnicity. About 50%, a little less than 50% Caucasian, and always shrinking a little bit as other groups compete more successfully. About 40% Asian, because young Asian kids, Asian families are very dedicated students and do very well. But African American, we're never happy about the low proportion of African American students relative to the population. We strive to increase it. It's staying fairly steady. Chicano, Latino, Mexican are trends, lead them if we can. We're doing better with Latinos, and we're proud of that, but we need to continue to do much better. Some of our new programs are focused on Latino culture and language to try and encourage more students to come to us rather than going elsewhere. Okay, we do have a multi-year plan in UC for growth. Dr. Nation has been pivotal in creating this program, which is called the Prime Programs, a program in medical education. At all 5 of our schools we're doing that. All 5 of our schools we're doing that. Increases in class sizes each year by a little, 12 to 18 students per campus, going up slowly. They focus on the needs of medically underserved communities, including rural health. Davis is focusing on rural health. Davis has a strong focus on telemedicine. So it's trying to serve communities that are particularly in Northern California dispersed, but telemedicine reaches everybody. Latino Health in Irvine, Prime LC program, meaning Latino culture. So trying to get people who are aware of differences in health practice in Latino culture, and there are differences. Some of them very positive differences in health practices in Latino culture, but some are unique challenges. Diverse disadvantaged populations in Los Angeles and disparities in health equity in San Diego. Urban underserved communities in San Francisco. So we're building in Prime We're also, as you may have heard, seriously considering one new medical school at Riverside. The Regents have given approval to plan in a serious way to take the 24 student per year medical program and turn it into a full-size medical school at Riverside. That would be a dramatic step if we take it, but the Regents are supporting. And our newest campus, this is not going to affect you in your career trajectory, but our newest campus, UC Merced, wants to build programs that will allow it in time to develop another medical program. And we're supporting that general direction of academic growth. So the opportunities are there. We take our commitment to the people of California very seriously, and so do the privates. We do have great private schools in California also serving the needs of California. We know most about the University of California. Dr. Nation and I will be very, very pleased to answer your questions.